What's going on, Assassins? It's Dark Strider, and in case you did not know, there is going to be a live action Assassin's Creed series, which is currently being developed by Netflix. It's supposed to be for the 2025-2026 television series. Being that we're already in the middle of 2025, I don't think that this is something that is going to come out this year unless they rush an episode or two out. And I hope they don't, because if they're going to do this, they really need to do this right. We've seen the Assassin's Creed movie, which there were some good parts. There were some kind of bad parts. For the most part, I do believe the movie was a flop. But later on, there were a lot of things that you saw in the movie that there were a lot of crossover. For instance, we discovered that Layla Hassan is actually good friends with the girl who is in the Assassin's Creed movie. The one that works for Abstergo is Layla's best friend at the time before they grow apart. If you looked at any of the notes that Layla had in Assassin's Creed Origins, you would see that there were pictures of the two of them, that they hung out, that they did all these things. Layla herself, actually came out with the harness that you see in the Assassin's Creed movie. So, again, there's a lot of crossover. There are some cool parts. That is kind of cool that, you have your media crossover like that. It's always cool when the games crossover, like, mention of Connor and the events of Assassin's Creed 3 in Rogue. The things that are going on in Assassin's Creed 2. They're talking about it in this game. They're also talking about other things, Shao Jun, Assassin's Creed Chronicles, China. That's always talked about. So crossover is kind of cool. But, again, the movie was not that good. So they used to take movies and they used to make them bad on purpose, video game movies, because I believe it was Germany, if I'm not mistaken, where they would go and they had a program where if the movie bombed, they basically paid you double the production cost. So if the movie costs $20 million and it only made $5 million back, they would pay you the remaining 15 million plus another 20 million on top of that. So there were corrupt directors or producers that were purposely buying up video game franchise films in order to purposely make them flop so that they could get paid ridiculous amounts of money. So, that's kind of like why they used to make them bad. Now they're actually doing good. Like, we have the Super Mario Brothers movie. That was, obviously animated, but it was way better than the, 1990s live-action John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins Super Mario Brothers. Way better than that. They recently came out with the Borderlands movie. Borderlands movie wasn't so good, but it was okay. They did do a lot of fan service, but they took a lot of liberties, and that's why that movie kind of bombed. Now, looking at TV series, we cannot doubt that The Last of Us on HBO and Fallout on Amazon Prime, those are two prime examples of a television series based on a video game franchise done right. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stuff like that. I want to see it like that. Not everything is perfectly lined up with the games. Obviously, Fallout took a lot of liberties, but they basically got the entire feel, the look, the attitude of what brings Fallout and what makes it great. So they did a good job there. Now, The Last of Us, another series, takes a couple of liberties, basically follows like the game a lot, and it gives you some behind the scenes as to like what was going on while Joel and Ellie were doing X, Y, and Z. But they do follow certain things, that happen in the game. And I don't care whether or not you think that, the girl who plays Ellie, Bella, I forget her last name, Bella Ramsey, I think. I don't care if she doesn't look like Ellie or whatever. Like, people really come down hard on her looks. I don't care about that. I care about, are they following the series? Are they following the game? Are they giving us fan service? Or are they completely screwing it up? An example of completely screwed up, and this is why I'm a little worried about Netflix, is Netflix did a Resident Evil series. It sucked. I didn't care that they made Wesker black, which they did in case you didn't see it. They made him black. He has a bunch of adopted children, I guess. And that's what the series was about, like their involvement with Umbrella and basically like these experiments and everything. It really, it sucked. It did not have the feel of a Resident Evil game. It didn't do any justice. The Resident Evil movies, those were kind of for normies. Those weren't for like fans. Because a lot of people didn't know what the hell Resident Evil was. And then they went and saw the movies and they thought, oh wow, zombie, a lot of action, crazy stuff. Then they started doing fan service where they were including characters from the game and putting them in scenarios that just did not happen in the game. It was really goofy, really goofy. And they're supposed to be doing a Resident Evil reboot as well, but we'll see what happens. But for that reason, for the Resident Evil thing, I don't know how I feel about Netflix handling this. This has to be done right. And I know a lot of people, they complain. There's a lot of memes where, they show the manga, they show like, cosplay, and then they show the Netflix adaptation. So it'll be like an Asian person in the manga, the person who does the cosplay looks exactly like the character in the manga. And then when you see the Netflix adaptation, the big joke is that, they're like a big, fat, black, handicapped woman instead of a male character that was supposed to be the manga adaptation or whatever. There is some truth to like what Netflix does there. Now, in some scenarios, it really comes out, yeah, you guys did the wrong thing. And in some scenarios, you really don't have to care. For instance, any of you who have a girlfriend or a wife, I'm not talking to you neckbeards who hate on everything and, the incel community. I'm not talking to you guys either. I'm talking to people who actually, touch women. And some of you female players as well. If you watched Bridgerton, that it didn't matter what the books were, what the time period was. You're okay with it. Bridgerton is like, I call it jokingly ancient England. It takes place in like, England years and years and years and years ago, during their kind of like medieval times, their Renaissance era or whatever. And, they have a black queen, there's black characters, which we know at that time would be impossible. That would not be what was going on. But it doesn't matter if you're actually watching the show for the show. You can look past the whole Black Queen thing. You're just seeing people being people. It's not historically accurate. It is a fictional story. And it works. It works because you enjoy it, because you're not paying attention to who's what color and everything like that. You're paying attention to like the show. Same thing with the Resident Evil show that they had started. I wasn't paying attention to color or race or anything like that. I was paying attention to how good the show was. Resident Evil, the TV show, sucked. It was terrible. That's what I'm worried about with Netflix. I don't care if they make Desmond black. I don't care if, they make Layla Hassan a Asian woman, or a white girl or something like that. I don't care what they do as long as they do the right thing, as long as it follows something. It follows along the line. It could even be its own story. It could be a separate thing about a different cell of assassins. That doesn't matter to me. I welcome that as well. Just throw in some fan service, have them mention Desmond or William Miles every once in a while. Their sec, that would be kind of cool. But don't just take the show and make it what it wasn't, make the video game what it wasn't. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Like, how do you feel about them making a TV show? They also said they were going to make a Legend of Zelda show. I don't know if Netflix is going to have that, but they're talking about it, and I just don't know what to think. What are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, and until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one.
Ya Yi!